Hi everyone, it's me, Leah. By the way, don't mind my outfit for today because today we're going to talk about people's unsolicited advice. And I would like to excuse my English because I'm not a native English speaker. I'm from Philippines, specifically in South Part, Mindanao. But don't be afraid, I'm not gonna voodoo everyone. But today we're going to talk about friendships or maybe relatives or other people's unsolicited advice while removing my what's what's this this is actually a salicylic acid. It's the brand is The Ordinary. While doing my skincare routine every I'm doing my skincare routine. I'm doing this skincare routine once a week. So yeah, sometimes I do this while watching TV. I love watching POV, looks of every country because I like traveling. I like exploring new places, but then I'm too I'm too lazy and too broke to go there, to be honest. And yeah, sometimes I do this skincare while listening to music, while cleaning my room, and then stuff like that. By the way, I'm reading a book. I supposed to read a book, but then I changed my mind and I decided to use this camera because it's new to me and I would love to explore this. And I would love to talk to myself, record this moment just so in the future I can, witness myself being better and better. No one else will witness myself and no one else is more interested of my life more than myself in the near future. So why not record, right? So I'm gonna remove this. Well, I put it on my face 15 minutes ago, and then now I have noticed that it's all dried up, and I think it's sucked what it's supposed to be sucked out of my pores. So now I'm gonna remove it with just wet wipes, and then later on I'm gonna wash it with soap or facial soap. I'm not sure if I'm doing it the right way, but yeah. So let's talk about unsolicited advice that we get from our friendship or from other people outside us, right? So sometimes it could be, By the way, let me explain to you what are unsolicited advice. When you say unsolicited advice, is this is like unwanted advice. But first things first, that's why you're getting those advices because you're opening up to them. And then we all know that we can't afford therapists. So we choose to open up to our friendship because we think they care about us. Which is, yeah, they do, but not more than themselves, not more than how they care for themselves. But sometimes, we have this, if we have something in our mind, we like to share it to other people just to release. But it doesn't mean that we want them to intervene in our life. I'm not sure if everyone can relate, but to me, there are times that I'm expressing myself to other people, not because I want their advices, but because I just want to let it out. Just like that. Sometimes I write it down. But then when I was younger, when I was like teen years, early 20s, but I'm not that old yet. You will find it out later on because I have all this on my face. And yeah, what happened when I was younger? I trusted my friends, I trusted everybody. So I opened up I totally open up. And that's what makes me very vulnerable, because like everyone can strike me and then they will really hit me bullseye. So I was like, oh my god, all I am like telling people, they are using it against me. And I'm not sure if it's intentional or unintentional, but somehow it hurts me whenever they have comments, whenever they have like opinion and advices that I choose not to follow, and then they would take it as like attack to their, you know, POV or to their ideas. And as I grow older, I realize that I don't really have to follow their advices. My life is my life, and I'm gonna do whatever I want. And these people, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a, like, wait, I'm not saying that it's a disadvantage. No, I'm not, I'm so distracted. Oh my god, I'm so distracted. Okay. I'm not saying that I don't need their advices, but somehow some people doesn't know that all they have to do is to listen. But of course they're listening to you because they're interested on you and they want to be entertained, and that's why they are entertained and they are like having these conversations with you and like giving these advices that they think would help you. And then of course at the same time it boosts their ego because they think their life is better than you because you're expressing your problems and stuff, though not all. But I don't know if it's just because of my lens of life, how I see life. But yeah, so back then I was really vulnerable. I was really open. I was really honest to people. And then I was like, and then there was this happening. It's called cyberbullying. I don't know how do you call that. Like somebody tried to like make me feel bad about myself using social medias. And I feel like I really have to explain myself to everybody. It's so tiring, and I got really depressed by that time. I really don't know how to navigate life. No one guides me. I mean, I just grow up and develop myself all by myself. So it's kind of like I really don't know how to handle that. But as long as, then I realize as I grow older, I realize that you don't really have to explain yourself to other people. You don't really have to like make them understand you, because at the end of the day you're gonna solve your own problem. And then I know you're just using them as well to be, to be free of your own thoughts at night so you can fall asleep. But then somehow it will backfire to you. They will use it against you. And then what hurts the most is that they are your trusted person. And then you would realize, like, how come you can do this to me? Maybe they're not aware that they are hurting you. But it's the main problem is it's you. You can't help yourself. You can't really like control yourself from sharing too much to other people. That's why you're getting all these unsolicited advices, and it hurts your ego. It hits you in the bullseye. I don't know if what I'm talking about is right. But yeah, I think all you have to do to deal with that is first you have to be aware of your, mouth. Keep your mouth shut. If you have some problem, it's better you meditate and reflect on it and think of how you can manage it. If you cannot solve it, at least you can manage it. At least you can, like, keep it to yourself that you don't really have to be, vulnerable. But then some people, they have their own way of coping mechanism. But, for me, my advice to myself, I mean, to myself, I'm not advising this to all of you because you have different ways of coping. But to me, I would never open up to anybody without, expecting to be disappointed in the near future. And then if you don't want to be disappointed in the near future, you can just keep it to yourself and then write a journal and then find a ways to solve it. Or if you can't solve it, you can just, live with it. Duh. And then you don't have to be, I don't know, like, I think I'm just being very insensitive. And also maybe it's the way how I raise myself through I raise myself up. It's funny. And then, yeah. So at first, you have to be aware. Second, you can't really like be rude to people and tell them, I don't need your advice. You can't do that. I mean, you have to be ready for whatever it's going, whatever result it's going to have, diba? So you can really say, you can't be rude to people and say, I just want to tell you all this and that, and then and then you're not gonna expect that they're going to try to help you with those unsolicited advice, and then like, yeah, with those unsolicited advice, of course they're your friend and they're trying to help you out, but sometimes it does more harm than benefit. So yeah. So at least at first thing you have to do is you have to be aware and reflect. Second is manage it yourself. And then if you cannot really like tolerate anymore and like you're at the peak where you want to like give up because of your problem, I mean, you go to your therapist and then you don't have to tell people about it. That's how I would handle things. But then somehow, because like your friends have known you for so long and they think they know the whole you. I mean, the whole you. But they have their version of you and you have your version of yourself. If you open up to people, they would like have this perception that you are this and that. And then they would criticize you and stuff like that, like as if they really know you, as if they know your options and stuff. But you just hang out with friends that's giving you benefit. I'm not saying like you have to be opportunistic, but if it serves you, then you hang out. But if it doesn't serve you anymore, you just have to leave. You just leave. If they're not like feeding you, and then you're not dependent on them to survive, you'll get used to it. That's what I realized. You get used to it. As long as you can survive and self-reliant, you can survive. And then to those people who are like younger generations, like your generation is totally different from ours, because before, it's if somebody gossip about you, it would only like circulate within the barangay, within a certain scope of area of responsibility. But then now, if you were famous and if your story is controversial, it's gonna circulate. I mean, if your story is very controversial, even though you're not famous, you're gonna be famous, and just be ready. And then yeah, sometimes like what you can do in order to cope with that is use that. If you got famous because of this, some like sexy photos got leaks, then just use it to your advantage. I know it's easy to said than done, but you have nothing else to do. At least you can use it to your advantage, right? So you can be more resilient. And and then in order for you not to get unsolicited advice from friends and relatives, it's better not to open up to them. You just have to like go out with them, hang out with them, and just share joyful moments, like you don't really have to discuss your problem to other people, especially those people you think that cares about you. They don't. They just care about themselves, and we are human. We prioritize our own self-interest. I'm not saying this to be bitter out of life. It's if it's true, then at least I make you guys aware. If it's not, it would save you lots of disappointments. So that would be all. See you again to my next, vlogging session. I don't know if it's useful, but to me, it's useful. I'm gonna watch myself. If you guys don't watch me, I'm gonna watch myself in the near future and observe whatever I have in my surroundings, myself, how healthy I look like, and how clear my skin is this day without any wrinkles yet. Bye, Leah. Bye, everybody. Mwah.